This is CCS-TV, empowering voices, inspiring futures.
Welcome back on CCS Sportscast. I'm your host, Sebby Gibbs. Last weekend, Super Bowl weekend, very good game in my opinion, defensive game, low scoring in the first half, picked it up in the second half, and I'm happy personally because I did not want New England to win. As a Bills fan, don't want to see New England win another one, and they didn't. Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl 29-13. Kenneth Walker ends up getting the MVP, 27 carries, 135 yards, and he's just the only person that could get the offense going. Jackson Smith-Njigba was limited. He was brought to the tunnel eventually. Sam Darnold wasn't getting hot throughout the game, and Kenneth Walker was picking up big chunks of yards, getting the Seahawks offense yards, first downs, getting momentum rolling. But one thing that I think was very crucial in this game was special teams. So the Seattle kicker, Jason Myers, 5 for 5 field goals, 9 points in the first half, most points ever for a kicker in Super Bowl history. He was 5 for 5 from field goal, 1 for 1 extra points, so he had 16 points. And then the punter, Michael Dixon, 3 punts inside the 20. We was pinning the Patriots offense back inside the 20. Drake May did not have a lot of time. He had 3 total turnovers this game, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, 1 return for a touchdown. He did have 2 passing touchdowns, but they were both late in the fourth quarter where it was basically garbage time at that point. But special teams was huge for Seattle. I personally thought that Kenneth Walker shouldn't have won MVP. I thought that Jason Myers, the kicker, should have gotten it because he had 16 points. The Seahawks offense had 29. So if you want to talk about who was monumental in this game, it was definitely Jason Myers, the kicker, which is weird to say in the Super Bowl that the kicker is, in my opinion, the most valuable player. So Jackson Smith-Njigba was my prediction, who was shut down by Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez plays very, very well in this loss. He had 4 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and he limited JSN to 27 yards, which he has 1,800 this season, leads the NFL. And that's one of the reasons why this game was so low scoring in the first half. Christian Gonzalez was playing very good defense. Patriots' defense was playing very well. In general, they held them to field goals, and especially in playoffs, Super Bowl, January, February, around there, you don't want to settle for 3. You always want to go for the 7. So the Patriots' defense limiting them to a field goal 3 times is very well. The offense just can't get going. One big part coming out of the Super Bowl is that Sam Darnold, first QB out of the draft class to win a Super Bowl, and he's probably the most unexpected, other than Rosen, who's working at JP Morgan right now. But Sam Darnold, drafted 3rd overall to New York Jets. He was traded to Carolina and then picked up by San Francisco. Then he backed up Brock Purdy, went to a Super Bowl, did not get any playing time in it, though. And then he was picked up by Minnesota. They went 14-3, had a playoff appearance. He played very, very well. He was in MVP talks for a little bit of time. He was supposed to back up J.J. McCarthy towards ACL, and J.J. McCarthy did not look great this year, so Sam Darnold was definitely great for the Vikings last year. This year, he was picked up by Seattle, got lots of money, $100 million, and he went 14-3 again, Super Bowl champ. So, career's looking good for Sam Darnold. It looks like after Carolina stint, it looked like he wasn't going to be a starting QB in the league anymore, but now just Super Bowl winner, and I think he played very well in the Super Bowl. Statistically, not really, but limited turnovers, and I think he also played very well. So also this past week was NFL Honors. I had my predictions, and I have the winners right here. MVP, big candidates were Drake May and Matthew Stafford. This was very close. Matthew Stafford ended up winning by 4 first-place votes. And there's a lot of criticism to these voters because Josh Allen ended up getting 2 first-place votes, and even Justin Herbert got a first-place vote, who wasn't even a top 5 candidate for MVP. If those voters voted differently, I believe that Matthew Stafford still would have won it. Matthew Stafford definitely should have won this. He had better stats than Drake May. He was better this year versus opponents. So Patriots' strength of schedule is not insanely hard when the Rams have to play the Niners 2 times a year, who made it to the divisional round, and the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks 2 times a year. And they're in the NFC, which is one of the toughest the toughest division in football, with you don't know who's going to come out top. The NFC North, NFC East, there's lots of contenders in all those divisions. So I think Stafford was very deserving of this MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, I did predict Drake May to win this. He did not win it. I thought Drake May should have won it, but I didn't think he was going to win it. They don't usually give Offensive Player of the Year to quarterbacks. More so, they give it to skill position players, meaning running backs, wide receivers, tight ends that have outstanding years. Jonathan Taylor got it a couple years ago. Jamar Chase. This year it goes to Jackson Smith and Jigba. First in yards this year, and I think he was just remarkable for the Seahawks. Definitely the Seahawks MVP this year. Defensive Player of the Year, pretty self-explanatory. 23.5 sacks, the record. You're going to win MVP with those stats. Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Tedderell McMillan ends up winning with the Panthers. He had 1,000 yards with Bryce Young at QB. He played very great this season, top 10 pick, and he definitely lived up to expectations. And then the last award, Carson Schwarzenegger, who is on this Browns defense who didn't play great this year at all. Minus 2 very great players in Carson Schwarzenegger and Myles Garrett, who are going to win 2 defensive awards this honors, and I think they're both very deserving. Carson Schwarzenegger, I don't have the stat. I had it last podcast, but 150 around there total tackles this year is great for them. And I think he was very deserving. Thank you for tuning into CCS Sportscast. Next segments, we will have JHS boys and girls varsity coaches Bill Miley and Kenneth Ricker. So we will see you then.
Is where you can not only find your next new car, you can customize it exactly how you want it. Build a vehicle from one of your favorite brands. Secure rebates and incentives and expect delivery within 6 to 8 weeks. Get the keys to your ride in-store or in your own driveway and enjoy a year of complimentary Schultz Auto Care. Walk in to view our exciting inventory of vehicles arriving daily, or schedule your digital consultation online today to discover why we say you can't beat a Schultz deal.
At Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, we believe in supporting our community and helping you achieve your financial goals and strive to make a positive impact for our members and the community. Our mission is to empower individuals with the skills and resources necessary to achieve financial freedom. As our members and the community achieve their goals, we fulfill ours, creating a brighter future together. Southern Chautauqua Federal Credit Union, your partner in financial well-being.
Welcome to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, located at 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown. Visitors will see photographs, awards, apparel, and other sports memorabilia. We invite all visitors to stop in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and learn about the sports history of Chautauqua County.
Welcome back to CCS Sportscast. I'm your host, Sebby Gibbs. I'm here with Jamestown girls basketball coach Ken Ricker. First and foremost, I want to thank you for coming here for this interview. What you do is very great at Jamestown, so thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I think what you guys are doing here is just awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing from everything they're doing for the young people in this community, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
All right. So let's start with these questions. The first question is, how have seniors Abby Brandow and Anna Inquist contributed to the team's success this year on and off the court?
Anna's and Abby, the first word I would use with them always is consistency. They're very consistent in their effort. In our sport, some days shots go in, some days they don't. But if you have consistent effort, especially with the way we want to play, you're going to be successful. And they bring that, and they've had to be seniors basically for 2 years because we had none last year. So they've been the leadership for 2 seasons, and they've done an amazing job.
Yep. Next, there's a lot of youth on this team this year. There's freshmen, Peyton, Carly Daniels, Nayana Reed, Katrina. You even have the 8th grader on the team, Sunny Battle. So you have a lot of potential with this team. What do you see for the future?
Yeah, we're going to be a problem, that may sound arrogant or whatnot. We have 8 freshmen playing on JVs who play the bulk of the minutes.
Yep.
We have 5 freshmen on our team, 2 of whom who are starters and play a ton, and Sunny. And then I understand was only a sophomore. She's been with us a couple years, 3 years, but she's only a sophomore, and her talent is endless too. So everybody sees Carly and Peyton and Ayanna and knows what is coming, how good they're going to be. But we have other freshmen, Sophia and Katrina, who are coming along in practice. They don't get as many units in the game, so people may not know. But they're all coming along, and they're all learning how to play really, really hard at a young age. And to play in our league, and which is so competitive, and do that, we're going to be very, very, very good program in a short period of time.
Oh, so how many years have you been coaching high school basketball for the girls?
This is my 4th year back at Jamestown.
Yep.
Right before that, I was at Dunkirk for 2 years. I was at JCC for 1 year during the COVID year in between. And then I had a 10-year span with Jamestown earlier. So I'm lucky enough that I've been a teacher for 25 years. And when I got here, I was asked to be the JV coach for Coach Drake. And that's part of I'm still evolving. I've actually sat down the last 2 games a little bit, which I don't know if I've ever been able to do. And you should always be growing, and luckily I have that growth mindset of still trying to grow. But I've had amazing mentors from when I was at JCC 30 years ago with Ken Carrillo to Coach Drake, Coach Miley. I've had amazing mentors, and so I love Jamestown High School. A lot of people who aren't from here want to take shots at our school district, and they don't know all the great things we have. And our kids are amazing. I couldn't be happier at my classroom. So I love Jamestown. I'm really excited for everything that we have going on. Coach Miley's coached 2 years, been to 2 state tournaments, state Final Fours. We got great things going on here. So out of all those years, which year did you enjoy coaching the most? It's gonna seem like I'm just, kissing these girls' butts because it's this year. But this year has been the most enjoyable to go to practice because every day they love each other. They really care about each other. There's one of the things with me in coaching girls is like I don't want to hear any drama. I don't want to see any drama. Like that all has to be squashed somewhere else because I just don't believe in it. If you're gonna put that much time and effort in, you got to get along, and that's again part of Anna and Abby and Jasmine's leadership. We've been lucky since I came back. Coach DeMayo would take them to Saturday breakfast, and we do so much team bonding, and I don't go to it. Like that's them, that's for them. Practice and games is my time to bond with them, but they have to do that on their own. And this team has very diverse, different kids from different backgrounds and whatnot. but they all get along, and that's part of the key to our success. I've said this to many teachers and people this year. Like, I've had so many amazing teams in terms of great people, and who also got along and worked hard for each other. But to do it with so many young kids, the few older kids, and have them truly, like, everybody comes to practice. No one's calling in sick.
Yeah.
They want to be there. They want to share each other's company, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So from the point you started coaching to now, what ways have the game changed the biggest, you think?
There's a lot of coaches, and myself included. If I coached the way I did when I started, I would be fired in minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's just a different time and a different society. The my way or the highway might mean everybody's going on the highway. In sports like football, the grabbing the kid by the face mask, that's not going to go over anymore.
Yeah.
So you got to coach different. But at the same time, I think having the same standards is important. I get to coach middle school football, and like there was a expectation of how you played. And in all sports, sometimes I think coaches like myself are misunderstood because you have to earn everything for me. Yeah. So everybody gets the chance to participate in practice and get better in practice, but that doesn't mean you're going to, this isn't Timbit's soccer.
Yeah.
So, but the change is certainly that. You have to be more understanding. I think you have to communicate more. I'm someone who's big on, I communicate with the students really well and hope that they're taking it home to their parents. Yeah. And I also communicate with the parents as needed. But I think it's changed a lot, but really it's, you have to have a different style. I still coach different kids different ways. I'm really, really hard on kids in terms of just effort. And like, as a coach, I see the best of them. I see what they can be at their best, and I want to push them there. Where in general in society, we're good with being okay.
Yeah.
And I want them to be great. I want them to see the best of their, abilities, and I want them to reach the absolute highest they can reach in everything.
Yeah, for sure. So, could you give us some information on where Jamestown will seed in this year's playoff? Also, do you think it's possible for the girls to make a Section 6 title?
Yeah, we're unfortunately with this whole AAA addition a few years ago. There's only 4 AAA teams. There were supposed to be 3. There was an emergency merger between West Seneca West and West Seneca East that pushed them into AAA. Before they came in, the 3 teams, us, Lancaster, and Niagara Falls, I thought were pretty even. I thought this was going to be, West Seneca West is head and shoulders above the other teams, in my opinion. And barring a big upset, we will be the 4, unfortunately, and have to play them in the first round. With that said, and they've handled us twice. But with that said, we've been to Buff State the last few years, and the semifinals this year for the first time for girls are at Buff State for AAA, and for all AAA, AA, and A. We're going to go take our chances and play hard and live with the consequences. Section 6 this year right now, like West Seneca West is a pretty big favorite in AAA.
Yeah, it's tough.
And in B and C, there's huge favorites. Frewsburg, number 1 in the state right now, huge favorite. Southwestern, local, right, is a huge favorite in B. Whereas like AA and A they're loaded. There's some really solid teams. So we'll see where we fall. And all we can do is take care of today and go to Randolph and give great effort and see where we go.
All right. I want to thank you so much for coming here. We will see you guys next segment with Coach Miley, but thank you so much.
Thank you,
We'll see you next segment.
At Wegmans, we've crafted our new sandwiches with layers and layers of deliciousness. Each one is made fresh with our very best ingredients, like hearty breads made with grains from near our stores, premium cheeses, and freshly carved meats. We've packed big, delicious flavor into every bite for sandwiches that are endlessly good.
Welcome to Lakewood, New York, where community and adventure meet by the water's edge. Stroll our farmers market, sip something special at bag and string wine merchants, and discover local shops that feel like home. From sailing and pickleball to concerts in the park, every season brings a reason to gather. Lakewood isn't just a destination, it's a way of life. Discover it for yourself. Lakewood, where good times live.
Welcome to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, located at 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown. Visitors will see photographs, awards, apparel, and other sports memorabilia. We invite all visitors to stop in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and learn about the sports history of Chautauqua County.
Scheduled Sweet Home a couple times, but they're all.
At Wegmans, we've crafted our new sandwiches with layers and layers of deliciousness. Each one is made fresh with our very best ingredients, like hearty breads made with grains from near our stores, premium cheeses, and freshly carved meats. We've packed big, delicious flavor into every bite for sandwiches that are endlessly good.
Welcome to Lakewood, New York, where community and adventure meet by the water's edge. Stroll our farmers market, sip something special at bag and string wine merchants, and discover local shops that feel like home. From sailing and pickleball to concerts in the park, every season brings a reason to gather. Lakewood isn't just a destination, it's a way of life. Discover it for yourself. Lakewood, where good times live.
Welcome to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, located at 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown. Visitors will see photographs, awards, apparel, and other sports memorabilia. We invite all visitors to stop in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and learn about the sports history of Chautauqua County.
Welcome back to the final segment of CCS Sportscast. I'm here with JHS boys basketball coach, Coach Miley. How are you doing today?
Good, Seb. How you doing, buddy?
Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
So the first question is, Dominic Gonzalez, your senior guard, is about to hit 1,000 points this year. How has he influenced your team on and off the court this season?
Don's just a consummate player that you want to coach. You know, I've had the chance to coach him actually since he was in 7th grade in the JVs, and every day he's working hard to improve himself. Every day he's, pushing himself to be the best player he can be and pushing his teammates to be the best they can be.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's the type of kid you get into coaching for.
Yeah.
And, the success that we've had has certainly been a result of his play. And he's, every year he's stepped up his game, to another level. And I think he's really done that this year. And, I'm proud of him for his accomplishments, but I know, as great as it's going to be for him to hit 1,000, he wants to keep that little playoff run rolling this year as well.
So also, there's many seniors on this team this year, main ones being Elijah Farmer, Dominic Gonzalez, Gavin Johnson. So there are a lot of shoes to fill these upcoming years. Who could you see being the future of this team?
Well, we got a couple guys that are coming off the bench a little bit this year as juniors, and Jordan Spencer. He's done a really good job in Javion Barr.
Yeah.
They've played, very well in different minutes or different spots for a few minutes. Carson Millen's been a starter, and he kind of brings us the size factor to us a little bit. But there's a lot of guys in the JV team, and I was actually just having a conversation this morning with some people that, there is a lot of spots to fill, and there's some guys that I can see doing it, and it's just kind of who's going to, improve themselves in the offseason, who's going to work on their game, to kind of be able to blend in with the guys we got coming back. And the freshmen's had a pretty good, season as well, and there's a lot of talent, down at those levels, and it's always the guys that are who's going to put in that time to continue to improve and, try to step up at the varsity level.
Yeah. So recently you changed coaching from JV to varsity. How has the change been? Like, has it been more intense? How has it been?
It's honestly not that much more time because we were involved. I was obviously involved a lot, and you're coaching your team every day, a couple hours a day, and going to games and things like that. But I would say that's a little bit more of the preparation. Making sure scouting reports are taken care of and detailed, and with the huddle programming feature now, we're able to use that and utilize it, and we've done a good job of that, I think. And just some of the extra stuff, more running the program, like the non-basketball type things, organizing the booster clubs and things like that. It's been kind of, the new thing. But as far as the basketball goes, figuring out, our best combination on the floor all the time and figuring out how we want to attack, a certain team. It's something we've kind of been doing just at a little bit more, I guess, under a little bit more of a microscope. Yeah. Being that, people aren't worried a whole lot about the JV record a lot of times. Mr. Kimberg's not interviewing the JV coach a whole lot after games and things like that. But it's been nice to transition, and we've obviously been fortunate, to have some success.
Yep. So you've had a lot of success coaching your first few years. Specifically, last year JHS made it to the New York State Final Four. What are the keys to success that you've had the past few years?
I think just getting guys to buy into their role in the team. I think basketball is the ultimate team sport. And everybody's important, but everybody has a different, part to play. And there's a lot of times we'll say before games, like, you don't have to do anything, be special or do anything spectacular today. You got to be spectacular in your role. And if your role is to go guard and take care of the basketball, you got to do that. If your roles are a guy that's going to, control the glass, you got to do that. If your role is to, get us in our offense and score points for us, you got to do that. And I think we've been fortunate enough to have guys that are very, very talented basketball players and willing to fit those roles in our team. And the combination's been really good.
Yep. Does the previous success you've had make you feel more confident about this year's playoff run?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got having Elijah and Dom and even Gavin, played a lot of minutes last year as a six-man, coming back from a team that was very successful. We're fortunate to have that, and you're kind of blending the other guys with them. I mean, it's certainly nice to have a guy. I mean, I could have to go look up the numbers, but they've been on the floor for a lot of big games, a lot of big wins, a lot of victories, and have two seniors that have done that. Really 3 seniors that have done that, and even Jericho Thager playing a lot last year. Some big minutes for us. Guys that have been in the situation, it's not too big. We've been at Bus State a lot. A lot of teams, they don't. I try to tell our guys, they don't realize everybody doesn't go there every year. Like, we've been fortunate enough to do that. There's some teams that go once in a while, and we get up there and we're ready to go because it's not a new thing to us, and we're prepared and we've seen it before. So hopefully they can help us this year as well.
Yep. What underclassmen are performing at a higher level than expected this year, and what does that mean for the future of the program?
Well, we are very senior heavy, but I mentioned a little bit earlier, I thought Carson Milne's done a really good job, filling in his role as our big man. We don't call on him a whole lot to score a lot of points, but he's had some decent games here, picking his spots, but he's been able to change the game defensively just with his size and his rebounding ability, and he's been done a really good job of understanding what shots we want to get as a team and getting some other guys shots and filling that role. I think Jordan Spencer, who has started the last couple games, has been a really good asset off the bench. He constantly plays hard, plays with energy, doesn't mind defending, always digging out loose balls. So this constant hustle plays that it takes to win games, and he's done a really good job of that. And I hope both those guys and the other guys can continue to do that.
Yep. So, last question. What is your favorite memory coaching boys basketball, and what made that moment so special?
I would say probably 2 years ago in the crossover game against Health Science. Jack Carlson made a layup in an and one place, kind of like went nuts, and obviously springboarded us to that championship in the first year when that happened. It was pretty cool to see, and was a guy, especially a guy that wasn't like one of our star players per se, but was certainly one of the guys that stepped up in a role. And there's like a little photo of how the bench celebrated. Like when you see that, and all the other guys that maybe aren't on the floor, really getting into it, it was kind of fun, exciting, and a nice little memory to have.
Okay, thank you so much for being on the podcast this week.
I appreciate it, Seb. I want everybody to know I was one of your first listeners on your old Buffalo Bills podcast and Spotify, where I was talking about that with somebody. So I think you do a nice job, and I appreciate you having me, buddy.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, pal.
So we will see you guys next Wednesday on CCS Sportscast.
I think that it's important to know what the kids are thinking about the community and what they can do for it, and get their point of view from it, especially the kids, because they're the future generations.
You get to do fun TikToks and other fun interactive stuff. There's a lot more behind the scenes to this club than just sitting and interviewing. it's a good opportunity, so try it out.